much space. And when you out there without care, I was out of tone. But it wasn't because I didn't know, no. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. I hope that you're having the time of your life. Think twice. That's my only advice. Oh, who do you think you are? Oh, bless your soul. You think you're in control? I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. Just like me.
Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful. Let's just go ahead and put it out there. It's a lovely Saturday morning. Driving here to work from my house, I couldn't help but notice there wasn't a cloud in the sky. The weather's perfect outside. It's a lovely day to spend outside, outdoors. For those of you that have some time off from work, I would encourage you, take your family out, enjoy the day, spend time with your family, and do what needs to be done in this beautiful weather. I got to tell you, of course, Simoson is a completely different kettle of fish. Okay, Simoson never sleeps, and hence the reason I'm here now, guys. First of all, a few shout outs to you regulars, and I cannot say thank you enough, precious people, because that's what you are. You're precious people. Thank you for being with me. A few shout outs to you guys now. Somebody says, we are waiting, Mr. Muewa. Previous. That's a very interesting name you have there. Previous. All right. And somebody says, wow, you're on time. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I tell you, it's one of those mornings. Let me share something with you. I woke up this morning about 5:30, and guess what I said to myself? I said, today, I'm going to be on time. Of course, I was late for work, but I said, if I do a live broadcast today, no excuses, no U-turns. I'm going to be on time. The audience is going to be proud of me today. Boom. And here I am. Okay. All right. Well, hey, guys, let's get into it. I'm going to need a few moments and a few minutes of your time. I want to use for a subject talking to you for a few minutes today. Miles Sampa throws down the gauntlet. Now, that phrase, before I begin to speak with you and share with you what's on my heart, I think it's important for us to define what the phrase means. When you hear someone say, I threw down the gauntlet, or when you hear someone say, he threw down the gauntlet, to throw down the gauntlet, here it is. I'll throw it up for you, and I'll explain it to you. I'll teach you one or two things today. To throw down the gauntlet means to challenge someone, Do you know what a gauntlet is? A gauntlet is an iron glove. For those of you that are fans of the Marvel film, what was that film? The one with Captain America and Thanos and Iron Man and all of these superheroes, these extroverts, There was a movie that came out with the character Thanos. Well, he had an iron glove. Remember the one that had the emeralds? Well, that thing is called a gauntlet. And in the old days, when you throw it down, you were challenging someone. You were saying to someone, it's time to fight. It's time for you and I to go toe to toe, eyeball to eyeball. No more talking. Forget the rhetoric. It's time for you and I to go to combat. I challenge you. I throw down the gauntlet and challenge you. And this is what Miles Sampa has done. Miles Sampa, for those of you that do not know who Miles Sampa is, let me bring you up to speed. He is an elected member of parliament representing the people of Matero. Okay? He ran for MP. He won. The people over there in Matero said, he's the guy. Elected official, represents Matero. Not too long ago, Miles Sampa expressed his intention, his intent to run for president of the political party, the PF, whom I refer to as the Notorious Patriotic Front. And he was the very first person who went to the secretariat and he brought 200,000 kwacha cash, left it at the table. He told the then acting Secretary General, Nixon Chilangwa kuti inenalete 200 pin. My intention is to run and throw my name into the hat so that I am considered for the leadership of this party. Miles Sampa followed the rules. And by Nixon Chilangwa, by acting SG, didaba mwene yo 200,000 kwacha cash, vamba no kupiba, vamba no kumina mate. Baretirete mpia we mwana shire tekuno twalashi chiva ula. Bashipenda balependa ukuba lekabila. Kabili ba PF baba. Bena ni olo nga bamona fye mpia batumbula na menso. Batifye we mwana isa kuno mauzi na leta 200 zaza. Na leta 200 pin. Nga wacherwa tawarieko wendeshe click ilia mauzi afuma po abo ba PF abo lekeni bakunge no mbempiesho mwana leka tusuneko uyabula ko 50 pini abona abo babula kwa 70 pini within 2 minutes shapwa impia shidia. Now Miles Sampa was the first one to file his nomination. And of course, there were 8 other candidates that followed after Miles. Abena Emmanuel Mwamba, abena GBM, abena Chite, abo katwisha wamita twabeshwa no kubeshiwa abo. Balefo okuba president waba PF. Bali banga, bali 9. Number 9 times 200,000 nishinga. Landeni mu, kabifita twasambira. Landeni mu ma comments to ala michita highlight. We shall highlight your figure. Multiply 200,000 kwacha times 9 candidates. MP abapokere ba NPF kulia ku secretariat ba chilango opo bali ba given rubindo opo bali ba chiti ababa savimbi na kachinda ifimi efufikere omumishishida shisagalala isa team pia shiri kusa. Just tell us the amount munje beyo amount twala ichita highlight 1.8 million kwacha within a matter of days. Ishimpi ba NPF badi shona ula abati yo mobilization ba given winda baranda yo okay twala tumaba lumendo tuchite mobilize chite naona kachinda isati yo kulefwa kwa chite abalumendo na bashupika legeni tusobolepo within a matter of days 1.8 bashipwa badia bachibaula. So here's the issue now. I need you to follow me so that we're on the same page. So after all this money was paid, all of a sudden, the NPF now started preaching this gospel of no arebuererapo, ignoring, negating the fact that there are 9 candidates who have placed their names in the hat for consideration. Oh, they've ignored that. All they're focusing on now is this harebrained idea, this harebrained notion, this harebrained project. Kutino apa arebwererapo ediga. Arebwererapo. Ignoring 1.8 million. Anyway, 1.8 million. They don't even talk about that money. They don't. Vaskedim. Now, let's be clear. Let's talk for a moment about the notorious Patriotic Front Secretariat. Now, the Secretariat is that property over there. It's right along Lumumba Road, okay? And it's right before you get to Family 24, okay? If you're going towards the Matero end, there's a huge building right next to a filling station, a gas station, and it's painted green. Now, let me give you some information about the Secretariat that's going to shock you. Every time I bring this up, nobody ever talks about it. Members of the NPF, they don't talk about it. Tabalandapo, Walungu Tabalandapo, Given Lubinda never refers to it. This new bogus, illegally installed Secretary General in the name of Uyu Savimbi Nakachindoyo, Uyu Rafael Savimbi Hijaka Nakachinda. He never talks about what I'm about to share with you. What people don't understand is that Secretariat pre-2021, meaning before the 2021 elections, the NPF had planned to build an ultra-modern Secretariat on Burma Road. You know the piece of land that they earmarked to be the House of Prayer? You know that bogus project by NPF? They were hiding under a false camouflage pavilion of religiosity when really it was all designed to steal and embezzle money. They came up with this ecumenical movement. You know what an ecumenical movement is? The ecumenical movement means every religion, every faith, every persuasion comes under one roof and they hold hands and they sing Kumbaya. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Well, the NPF came up with this harebrained idea that they could build an edifice. You know what an edifice is? It's a huge, imposing structure. They came up with this idea that they were going to build an edifice, a building called the House of Prayer. Uku bale pepa, uku bale iva. Uku Vale Pepaba NPF were praying. Uku, they were brutalizing innocent Zambians. Uku, they were opening the word of God and bowing their heads and saying, shall we pray? But on the other hand, they were killing anyone that wore red and accused of being a member of the UPND. That's where we were as a people. Anyway, so these guys by NPF, the Notorious Patriotic Front, said to themselves, and this was right before the elections. This was before August 2021. This was before we went to the polls. The NPF said, let us cut that land. House of Prayer. Tukabule nchendei. and we're going to build an ultra-modern NPF secretariat. They even engaged a Chinese construction firm. Na slab badi bika win. Badi amba. They said, this is going to be an ultra-modern NPF secretariat. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be spacious. It's going to be imposing. It's going to be the talk of the country. Well, they didn't bank on the fact that in 2021, the Zambian people were going to wake up and say, no, we're not going to vote for you guys. We're going to vote you out. So what happened was that in August of 2021, the Zambian people went to the polls, and the Zambian people said 2.8 million Zambians voted for Hakainde Hichilema and said, HH, we want to give you a chance. We're sick and tired of these scoundrels led by Edgar Lungu. Okay, so they removed Edgar, brought in HH. Now, when the NPF saw the writing on the wall, now this is the scandal. You need to start now. At this point, you need to start tagging your friends because I'm about to share something with you. I've been sharing it, but you need to hear it again. This is the point. This was the inflection point where the NPF made a grave mistake, and a mistake that's going to cost them at some stage. If this administration is smart, they should take these guys to task. This is what happened. So when the NPF saw guess what they did? The top brass of the NPF turned around that same piece of land that was originally earmarked for development in terms of the NPF, the new NPF Secretariat building. Remember, I talked about the edifice, the imposing, impressive building. The NPF turned around because they knew they were losing the elections very, very quickly. They got a judge. There's a judge. That's Judge Muma, Wangwangu, Wafichinjama, title deeds. They make that land, they put the NPF as the owners of the title deed, and then they turn around and guess what they do? They sell the land for $1 million. Boom! Are you hearing what I'm telling you? Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? The top brass of the NPF, and you know who I'm talking about. I mean, Anakachinda, all those top chaps. They turn around and they sell it for $1 million to a Chinese manufacturing firm. Boom! $1 million. Only the top brass of the NPF were aware of that money. Only the top brass of the NPF shared that money. The people in the lower organs of the NPF, Amakadas, aka Innocent Karimanshi and his vagabonds, they had no idea that the top brass of the NPF had sold this land for $1 million. They didn't know. They had no idea. So now here it is. Add 1.8 million kwacha, which is the money they made from the application fees they got from the 9 candidates that made their intentions known that they were going to run for the NPF presidency. 1.8 million kwacha plus, or in Zambia we say plus $1 million. Nishinga bane. Nishinga. So, idia excuse. NPF say, no, we can't go to the convention because we are waiting to raise some funds. We are looking for money. Obobufi. Impia bari kwata diva. Ede bari shidia. Mula umfwa. Mula kutika. Are you listening to what I'm telling you? These are the types of scoundrels we're dealing with. Anyway, so if you're fiari pita tapari ulanda po tabalanda po abadi ashidie mpia bengi if wenga tualanda ko they ignore us but if you mwe wanalanda vachita na valanda imwe va DEC. Can you do something about that? We are talking about land that belongs to the Zambian people. That land belonged to the army. That was army land. And yet these NPF chaps, they demarcated that land, changed the title deeds, illegally using Judge Muma, and then now sold it to a Chinese manufacturing firm for $1 million US, and no one is talking about it. That's nonsense. Anyway, so if you're Fiapita, time, you have to run the Zambia. In English, that's after a while or subsequently. Okay, but in Zambia, we say time. Twice umfuatio nakachinda na bamuchita point SG. Avena Emmanuel Mwamba, my director of Katwishu Kwamba Media na Finchi. Avena Bomani, my director Jama Mobilization, Katwishi and Mobilization yo. Everything done illegally. Miles Sampa stood up and said, Vane, didn't quite the question. How the hell, how in the HE double hockey sticks have you guys managed to name the SG of this party when we haven't gone to a convention where we select and choose and vote for a president who then is legally able to select and name an SG? How have you done so without going through the right channels and the right process? Dear question. Miles asked that question, and he asked it very clearly. Kuti, why have you done this? Under what authority have you done this? The NPF just ignored it. That's their character. Ama irregularities. So what does Miles do? He throws down the gauntlet. Miles Sampa goes over there to the secretariat, makes his way into the secretariat. But what I found funny was that the people, the youngsters that went to offer him solidarity, you know, they were wearing my t-shirt to lungu. How do you wear the t-shirt of the person you are denouncing? This is Zambia, Bwana. This is Zambia. Tatwagasha. We are drama kings here. So anyway, you know, Miles gets on stage, you know, he does his thing, you know, he's got a handful of supporters, you know, mainly young people. And I must tell you though, when I saw that and I was watching it live and I turned to my wife and I said, the way I know PF, barabuke chongwa pa abantu barafwa lelo ififi minyangu kabili abena PF ngabaisa besa ngeminyangu. Do you know iminyangu? Have you ever heard of iminyangu? Tell me in the comments below if you've ever heard of that phrase iminyangu. Tell me in the comments if you tell me what the English translation of iminyangu. Tell me, and I will highlight that for you. My concern when I saw Miles addressing his handful, his cluster, his remnant of supporters on the grounds and the property of the NPF Secretariat. In my mind, I was saying, any time now, I said to my wife, I said, any moment, if iminyangu fiala isa, iminyangu. Tell me in the comments if you know what iminyangu is. Iminyangu. Yes. Here it is. Black ants. Fiefi kurufidia kubwaiche nga fiaisa. You heard them before you saw them. Nga fiaisa iminyangu. ma ela fiale suma elionga wanyante minyangu tafiale fwa wanyanta pota chifuile chachi tafiefi wachinyanta chachi tafiefi chaima ele romba chakusoma tafiale yanga shefi minyangu. So by NPF, I said to my wife, I said, any moment, if minyangu fiala Africa, if makadas, vala be pa ya fie once. Iminyangu, those PF minyangus, ngabaisa, apa, my goodness, this will be a massacre. Vala be pa ya fie once. Luckily, that didn't happen, and thank God that didn't happen. So here's the issue. And this is what I want to share with you. What Miles Sampa has done he's basically called all of us to take a closer look at the process and the procedure, the illegal procedure that the NPF embarked upon to select the leaders within the party structures that they've selected. Why? They've selected these people because the end game, hear me, the end game is to reinstall Edgar Lungu as the sole candidate on the NPF ticket, the Notorious Patriotic Front ticket, so that in 2026 he stands again and challenges HH, when really the truth is he would be vying for a third term. Even though I know by John Sangwa has said that no, the Concourt ruled that he was eligible to stand. And I know that's what John meant, but the perception is that John made a U-turn. So here it is. The end game is for the NPF to completely ignore the 9 candidates that paid in total, in summation, 1.8 million kwacha that the NPF have used. They have not accounted for that money. They have not exactly spelled out how that money was used, where it was used, why it was used. All those questions, nobody asks those questions because they're going to ignore all of those candidates. And the end game is ultimately the NPF wants to reinstate Edgar Lungu as the candidate that will stand in 2026. Now, you may ask the question, why? Why would former President Lungu throw his hat into the ring and want to be a contender? It's very simple. He's angry. Nakachinda's angry. Given Lubinda's angry. Bowman Lusambo, they're upset. So basically, you have a clique of hoodlums who have come together and they've said, you know what? How the hell did the Zambian people throw us out and give it to Hakainde Hichilema? We're not going to stand for that. By any means necessary, we are going to grab power from HH, and the only person that can do it in their minds, this is what they're thinking, is Edgar Lungu. That's what they think. The NPF are so dull. They're so dwanzy. They can't see beyond themselves. They can't see beyond Ediga. Well, there's life after Ediga. You must know that. Okay? The quicker you realize that, the better off you be. There is life after him. The former president has to embrace that thought, which clearly he doesn't want to embrace that. And I'll be honest with you, it's even too late at this stage to even think or assume that the former president is going to stand up one day and say, you know what, I don't want to do this. Let's give it to somebody else. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Okay? So here's the bottom line. Miles Sampa is well within his rights to question the NPF and the process and to ask them the hard-hitting questions. Well within his rights. Well done, Miles. We wish you all the best, but the only thing, though, you got to be careful. Don't get hurt. Okay? I'll never forget the secretary to the cabinet now, Mr. Who's the secretary to the cabinet now? Tell me in the comments. I forget his name. I know him. I know him. I just, it's, when you're live, sometimes the names go. Tell me in the comments who the secretary to the cabinet is. Tell me who is that? That that's who is that? Tell me now, and I'll say your name on there. I'll highlight it if you tell me who that is, and I have a story to tell you about that. Ni Bakangwa, Defio, Bakangwa, yes, Bakangwa. He said to me once. This was many years ago. This was maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. We were at the gym, at the Intercontinental Gym. We used to go to the same gym, and I was complaining to him about Kades. And I was, we were in the changing room, and after we'd worked out, we're all in the changing room. And I was telling him the story about the Kadas and all that. And Vakangwa turned to me and said, "Wish you the best, Mwewa. But remember, don't get hurt." And the same thing that he said to me, I'm going to say to you, Miles. We love you, but don't get hurt. These people are dangerous. Dangerous. Okay. All right. Yes, Patrick Kangwa. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, hey, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.